Hello, everyone. Let's have court part 34, I think. Good morning, Your Honor, various lawyers, stalkers and crazy people, trolls, mob families, etc. Anyway, I wanted to, at this point, Your Honor, kind of introduce, because I know videos of mine will be played, stories will be told about who I am and what I've done, and videos will be shown. So I'd like to explain all that. I'd also like to explain certain trends that developed, that were deployed against me by various individuals. And before I do that, I'd like to talk about one man. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case, Your Honor. But I'm going to tell the story anyway, because this ain't a real court case. There's a guy named Brett Buchanan who runs an alternative rock website that does promotion for various bands, okay? I talked a lot of shit on that guy, but I just came to a realization, Brett. I talked a lot of shit on you. I admit that. I'm not trying to hide it. Everyone knows it. But Mr. Buchanan did not jump on the trend of calling me a scammer, as far as I know, and that's what it became, trend that originated with a trolling operation deployed by a millionaire family with a $20 million estate. So that's where it began, that trend. I'll explain more about that. But Mr. Buchanan, despite all the shit talking I did on the man, I can at least give him kudos for this. He didn't just jump on the bandwagon and try and ruin my career opportunity, by calling me a scammer in one of his pieces. Now, Brett has his own website. He's the leader of it. He's got a platform that thousands of people see. He could have went that route and just hopped on the bandwagon like everybody else, because everybody wanted a piece of the action. Everybody saw what I was doing, and everybody wanted a piece of the action. Mr. Buchanan did not, as far as I know, write any articles. And he had the ability and he had the outlet to do it. Very simply, very easily. Wouldn't have been a hard thing for him to do. Mr. Buchanan did not jump on the bandwagon and ruin my rep over lies. I applaud Mr. Buchanan for that. I know you're shocked to hear me say this right now, everyone. But it's a realization I came to. I applaud Mr. Buchanan, even though he and I do not have a positive history. I applaud Mr. Buchanan for not being what everyone else was, a liar and defamer to try and ruin my rep and my business. That's what everyone else was that I'm describing in these lawsuits, Your Honor. Mr. Buchanan, I nod, bow my head to you, and I applaud you for that. It's a realization I came to. Thank you for thank you for having a line you wouldn't cross, Mr. Buchanan, despite my shit talking. Just because someone talks shit don't mean you start lying about them. I guess Mr. Buchanan knows that. Unfortunately, Mr. Buchanan takes money from certain people and prints certain stories. But that's his business. Anyway, I still want to thank Mr. Buchanan for having a moral line that you won't cross regarding me. I appreciate that. I can't think of many people that have any lines at all. Brett, well done. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Because you could have very easily hopped on the bandwagon, and you didn't. Anyway, the history. So, again, Your Honor, this millionaire family, in my opinion, and I think I can prove it by screen names, IP addresses, etc., and other various forms of evidence, eyewitnesses to the tactics and what was going on a systematic basis. Not once in a while, on a systematic basis. So we have the trolling campaign deployed by the millionaires. Immediately when I start talking about Chris Cornell, They want to keep their names away from it, but we all know publicist tactics. I explained what publicists do over the years, how that whole business works, and they followed those tactics to the letter. That's their religion, Your Honor. Publicity, publicist tactics. That's their religion. That's how they operate. So this trolling campaign is smearing me, calling me a scammer. It starts to develop a trend. Most people follow the trend. Most other channels that broadcast about the same subject, Chris Cornell's life and death, they all wanted a piece of the action. They all saw what I was doing, saw me being successful at it, the business, the investigation, etc. They thought they could do it too. Unfortunately, they were all wrong, and they had to resort to lies. Again, I talked about a deceased woman who was also a broadcaster. I'm not here to insult her. I'm here to tell a story. I'm not here to insult my stalkers. I'm here to tell a story. I'm not here to insult estate holders. I'm here to tell a story of what happened to me so people know what to expect in court. Lawyers, judges, everyone. Will I make these exact arguments in court? Of course not. This is a sample that you all get to see. And I'm giving you information I never gave before. More detail than I ever gave before. Behind the scenes things I never talked about before. Never admitted to before. What the drive behind everything was. An investigation. I also understood human behavior from observation in my 40-some years. Patterns that people display, which told me how to approach it. I'll explain that more later. So let's start with the deceased woman. I won't name her here. She did a whole video calling me a scammer, probably because I began using the word gypsy, Your Honor. I assume that's why she didn't like me, and that's why she hopped on the bandwagon, also for fame for herself, to dip into that money pool that they saw I had access to, which was much more than a money pool to me. I took that seriously that people gave money. I took that seriously that people were helping me with information, etc. I tried to get rid of the trolls as fast as I could. I had to deal with a lot of mad women being called things by operatives to ruin my business, by saboteurs intentionally. I had to deal with those people, try and calm them down, and explain to them day after day what is happening to you right now. A trolling campaign deployed by a publicist family. Because I am talking about them. Because I am looking into things I dare not look into. I try to explain this over and over again, but people are sensitive, Your Honor. They took the trolling very to heart. And the responses I gave to the people that harassed my audience, they took my responses quite to heart, because that's the effect I have on people. So we have a deceased woman who, right very close to the beginning of all this, did a whole video about how I'm a scammer. She didn't know me, she didn't know my background, but she put her name and face on camera saying I was a scammer. Eventually, years later, once she saw, oh shit, I fucked up, and he could sue me for that, she started to realize, and she kind of backtracked a little bit in one of her videos. I don't remember the exact words, but it was not an apology, which it should have been. She was dead wrong, and she was lying about me based on no information. Just a guess, just on trend, Your Honor. It became a trend, which I'm going to go into more. That's an important word here. On social media, especially, it's the word. Trend is the most important thing in social media, news, whatever. You want something trending. So, calling me a scammer became trend based on a public relations operation deployed against me, which this website was all too happy to let go on day after day, despite my complaints, my viewers' complaints, etc. But they're the moral compass. They're the moral barometer, right, Your Honor? That's what you'll tell me? That's what they'll tell us? Of course they will. So trend. So the trend began again with the trolling campaign in the comment section. Gotta ruin this guy's rep. Gotta target the money. Call him a scammer. People won't trust him. You know what happens. Business ruined. Rep ruined. Investigation over. Which was the real goal. Then we have a deceased woman now that did the same thing, just jumped on camera and called me a scammer with absolutely nothing to back it up. Again, Your Honor, no one took me seriously in the beginning. They thought I was some Bible-thumping, racist, crazy person, ex-meth head who had to have a record, had to have a bunch of shit in his past where they could just call me a scammer based on a trend set by millionaires and their public relations campaign. And they wouldn't have to worry about it because I'll probably be dead in a week or something, right? From homelessness or whatever, from all the different entities, including trillion-dollar corporations attacking my business. I'm amazed I was able to last as long as I have against all these forces. That's an incredible achievement alone by itself. So I have random scammers starting other channels calling me a scammer, trying to get my business, my rep ruined, everything, because they see that pool of money out there, and that's what they wanted. I never wanted that pool of money. It was necessary for the investigation and to devote myself full time, which I did every day. They didn't do that. We put the work in. So, again, Your Honor, so we have a trend to be starting to develop. There's also another trend where people would lie about working with me, like this woman from LSA lying, saying I called her to work with her. That never happened. There was some other guy named Tremolo, I don't know, Bolo, something. He put a story out there that me, him, and Rocket, this guy Rocket, were working together. Never true. People tried to associate themselves with me, Your Honor, and what I was doing, not Chris Cornell. I became the topic of conversation on LSA, Your Honor. My girlfriend just looked yesterday. There is comments all over Lipstick Alley about me, that person that defamed me. It looks like they tried to start a little business for themselves or something based on me. That's all they talked about. Yet in their charlatan piece, full of defamation, they claimed I was all about them. And I was talking about them all the time. And they were my whole life, that website and that person, etc. Meanwhile, my girlfriend's been digging around further, Your Honor. My assistant, my lovely assistant here, legal assistant, and she finds these people have been commenting, talking about me every day, all day, Your Honor. Yet, I'm the one using people's names for fame, etc. I didn't need to use anyone's name. Those two videos I did on TikTok, those two last videos, they were political in nature, acting speeches where I did a fake accent. I didn't threaten anyone. They had nothing to do with Chris, but they started to get traction. And that's what they don't want. These people behind the scenes. Follow me wherever I go. They waited till I got a little traction on a video that ain't about Chris. You think I haven't seen that little plan all these years? Wait till he does a video that's not about Chris. Then take him down. Think I didn't notice that? Of course I did. But then there's videos that are about Chris that got taken down. And a trolling campaign that got deployed, Your Honor, by millionaires that this website allowed. So again, this ain't just a defamation case or nothing like. They allowed harassment and stalking and terrorism of my audience and myself for years. And I'm the one that needed to be shut down. I wasn't stalking nobody. I wasn't contacting none of these people. Nope, that ain't me, baby. I don't stalk people. I don't terrorize people. I don't let people know I know their family members, phone numbers and addresses, etc. through robocalling operations, etc. I don't send thugs. I don't send FBI for no reason. That's terrorizing. That's harassment. That's stalking by millionaires. I don't resort to those tactics, Your Honor. So I never contacted any of these people. I wasn't interested in that. I was running an investigation. I was trying to get a response, and boy, did I. When they send thugs, that's when they fucked up. That first big move. They already fucked up with the trolling campaign. That told me I was getting hot. I was getting warm. Then when the thugs were sent, I must be right? You don't send thugs after a liar, do you? Physical men? Really? That's a lot of length. That's some real lengths to go to shut down a crackpot liar. And I know what they thought. They thought I would see those two guys and just run for the hills, never mention it, and they'd never hear from me again. Boy, were they wrong. Again, they all mistaked me, Your Honor. They all didn't take me seriously, but that was the plan. Again, Your Honor, back to the trend. Other people followed suit. Lipstick Alley did a whole piece calling me a charlatan that is up to this day, and they know exactly how I feel about it. I did all kind of videos about it. I see managers for the website who use the word scammer to describe me. We screenshot that as well. That's up there. So they can't say, oh, well, that's just one random writer. No, there's people with manager in the title for Lipstick Alley that called me a scammer. So again, Your Honor, this became trend. Other channels would parrot it. Lipstick Alley parroted it, did a whole charlatan piece on me. With zero evidence, Your Honor. I keep waiting for the story where I actually scam someone, Your Honor, and it never comes. Not from the website, not from stalkers, not from people who followed the trend that I was a scammer. I keep waiting for a specific scamming story, Your Honor. If you're going to call someone a scammer, let's give a specific scamming story. Where are some specific scamming allegations? There aren't any. I never had a follower, a patron, a sponsor ever say to me, you scammed me. It never happened. As mad as people got at me, as many people that turned on me in this process, Your Honor, and there were many. I never had one of them say to me, you scammed me. Never. I've even returned money to people, Your Honor, just because they were mad. And they said they wanted their money back. They didn't call me a scammer, but they were pissed at me for whatever reason. Again, people are very sensitive. I've returned money. And that person then donated again later. What do you do with that, Your Honor? What do you do with that behavior? People just get mad at you and they decide, okay, it's okay to go on a vendetta to destroy his entire life. That's where this all began, Your Honor, and that's another trend people saw. Every person I blocked or had a falling out with, for whatever reason, they decided to go join some effort or go on an effort all by themselves to ruin my life, reputation, and business, however they had to. And that's where this all began. After the millionaires got involved by deploying the troll farm, they had to wait for this woman who was a friend of a musician, or a fiance of a friend of a musician, a friend of mine, excuse me, to send him something and call me a scammer. Yet I never took any money from that woman. That woman never gave me anything. Yet I guarantee that woman was the one that contacted the website and said I'm a scammer. And YouTube obliged it with zero evidence. That's a serious thing, in my opinion, Your Honor. Ruin my reputation. Ruin my business. Paint me as defame me. I don't care that they're a $1 trillion corporation and they've lobbied for certain legislation, Your Honor. What's that got to do with my business? And the money they cost me. And the reputation I'll never get back because of YouTube and Google. What about that? Can I lobby Congress for some legislation on that? No, I can't. That business will never come back. My reputation will never come back. This website could have cared less. In fact, they made it happen. Google made it happen as well. So even Google took part in the trend. Even YouTube took part in the trend, Your Honor, with zero evidence. And if they ever get the balls, this website and Google, to turn over the big evidence they got, if they ever get the balls to do that, because that'd be the right thing to do, and let me take a look at it, it's over from that point, and they know it. That's why they never showed it to me. That's why it's shutdowns with vagaries, and we don't tell you who complained and what they said. Oh, that's fair. And if YouTube or Google dare want to come into court with the argument that, well, we have evidence, someone called up and said this, or someone wrote in and said this, okay, I can go to Fox News' channel. I can say, the whole staff of Fox News raped me and scammed me out of money. And I can send that to YouTube, and they'll take them right down, right? If that's how they operate. We had evidence. Some guy called up, said Fox News that everyone on the channel raped him and scammed him. It's that easy, Your Honor? That's how they operate. Any random person can say any random thing. They can just not like you or not like your opinion in the video and just start writing. And since, they got a call from some millionaires, oh, this is the excuse we're looking for. We'll just pile on with all the other liars and defamers and call him a scammer too, because it's trend now. Here's another trend, Your Honor, which is my fault. And it was intentional. Because, again, humans are predictable. And I understand how certain people would react to certain things. Someone left a comment in my comment section years ago, in the very early days of this, that looked at pictures of the family I discuss, the famous family. And he said he's from that area of the world that they're from. And he said they don't look like Greeks, they look like gypsies. I thought this comment was fascinating. He wasn't trying to insult them. He was just pointing out their possible actual ethnic heritage. But I knew what the word gypsy meant. I knew it would get a reaction. And the guy had a point. He's from that part of the world. I could tell by the way he wrote. I could tell he was foreign. I could tell it's just an observation he made. He wasn't trying to start anything. He wasn't trying to insult anyone. So I ran with that. The gypsy thing. That's probably why that first woman did that scammer video about me, because I think she's of that heritage, that area of the world that's deceased now. So she probably saw me throwing the word gypsy around and got very upset. I get that, but you can't start lying about people just because you're upset. And that's the trend that started. Viewers saw this. People I blocked saw this. Stalkers saw this. So the trend became, anytime you have a falling out with Nicholas, it's okay to try and ruin his life with lies. Look at all these people getting away with it. Look at this $1 trillion website getting away with it. They can all get away with lying and trying to destroy his business. Google set the example. YouTube set the example. A millionaire family who deployed a trolling operation set the example. People followed it. They followed the example of the people trying to ruin my reputation and business with publicity tactics. So I had to deal with that as well, Your Honor. I don't know where I was going with the rest of this. I'm going to stop here, Your Honor, and continue in another video if I have any more thoughts to share.